I know that you grabbed my
Yeah.
words.
Yeah.
No, she is. She is a very lively person.
Yesterday, I had a
But
chat with Mr. Nerangadi about how to manage numbers, and it was a very nice conversation that we had yesterday about how to handle numbers on the screen. And so we're going to give it a shot.
Aarti and Mimi, they both look all reset. Jyoti, all set.
Somewhat, but we have the speaker only such that it passes on the glow to everybody.
How sweet of you to say, Aarti.
Aarti, you should become a poet.
Poet. Acha,
Yeah.
I'll try my hands now.
So I think it's about 4:10 and we really should
I
get
think we
going.
should start.
Yeah.
Whoever missed, they are the losers.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm sure others will join in
Right.
as they invariably do. So first of all, thank you everybody for making time on the Thursday afternoon. This is second in our series of women-centric programs, which we've started doing once a month. Last time we had the chefs from the Sheraton Hotel to take us through some exciting recipes. Today we're on a completely different subject, and hopefully Mimi is not going to teach you how to cook the books, but still
To manage the books.
manage the books.
Oh, good Lord.
So Mimi, we have known for, I think, at least 20 years, Mimi?
Yes, Mr. Agari, exactly. It'll be close to 20 years this year.
So she was, at that time, a dancer of some repute, a Bharatanatyam dancer. So one had come across her in the cultural circuit. She was also working for ILFS, the equity research and management company. So we crossed paths at that time. And since then, she and her firm have actually helped us as a family to manage our finance, our assets. And I don't think I can give any greater testimonial than the fact that my children have chosen to stay with her and are now dealing with her independently. Somewhere along the line, she became interested in Vedanta and yoga. So she runs her own yoga center and is a yoga exponent of considerable mastery. So I think what I hope will come through in her talk as well is that she brings the flexibility of a dancer with the poise of a yoga practitioner to the management of money. So you take a long-term view for general well-being. So with these very few words, I'm going to give the floor over to our very own Aarti Bhatia, who is no stranger to money by any means. So I'm sure she's going to ask all the right questions as to what to do with the money. Aarti, thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Mr. Agari.
Thank you, President Ravi. Friends, do you know that according to a report by Boston Consultant Group, 35% of the world's total wealth is under the control of women and growing at the fastest rate ever. Not surprising, considering the likes of Indra Nooyi and Kiran Mazumdar Shah are heading some of the world's most impactful companies. In another study for the CFA Institute, Barbara Stewart interviewed 800 highly accomplished women globally relating to the attitude of women towards investment. She came up with 3 findings. Women appear less confident than men so that they can receive more information on financial matters. Secondly, they prefer to invest in causes and concerns that matter to them and that benefits to society, like children's welfare, promoting health, gender equality, and social justice. They are not risk averse, but they are risk aware, which means they are informed and do their research well. Women feel they cannot be secure and independent unless they understand what's going on with their money. This means grasping the basics of budgeting, cash flow management, as well as adequately saving up for emergencies. To tell us more on this, we have a versatile speaker, Miss Mimi Parsarthi, who will share her experience and shed some light on the subject, wealth and women and wealth. Welcome, Mimi.
Thank you so much, Aarti. Thank you. Very kind of you to give me this introduction. Thank you again, Mr. Nedingadi, for your warm welcome. So let's just get straight into the presentation.
Okay. Should we start with how should our money do for us? What should our money do for us?
Yes. So
Yes.
Thank you, Aarti. You're the one that's going to be asking me the questions. And so we could go ahead. What should our money do for us?
Yes.
So before I answer that question, I need to get into just kind of just showing you a couple of
Yes, sure. You are the host.
yes, yeah,
Yes,
this one.
yes, yeah.
This one. Yeah, right. So welcome all. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. So let's just go straight into this. As Mr. Nedingadi was mentioning, I am very privileged and honored to run both these organizations, one in the space of wealth management and the other in the space of wellness, which is Shri Krishna Wellness Yoga Center, and the other one, Sinhasi Consultants. So Sinhasi Consultants is a financial planning and advisory company, and basically based on the principles of business and management, whereas the Yoga Center is based on, basically has yoga, pranayama, dance, and based on the principles of Yoga Sutra and Bhagavad Gita. And the beautiful part, as Mr. Nedingadi did mention, there is so much synergy between the two. And that's what I do believe that hopefully Sinhasi brings onto the table to our investors and clients. As Mr. Nedingadi mentioned, I'm a Bangalorean, and a brief about my educational background. So I did do my studies in Bangalore, and after which I did go to Switzerland to do my double masters in finance and marketing and cost accounting. And after I came back from there, that's when I started my career with a couple of other companies before I landed up in ILFS Investmart. And that's the educational aspect of it. And of course, the dance and the Vedanta studies and the Yoga Sutra studies are something that I also pride myself in. So let's just go to what is it that we really want, you know. If I look at it in this way, we, as Aarti very nicely said, that we want to be on top of our game with our money. So we want success, we want money. As Aarti mentioned, we're all very emotional also. We like love and happiness. So we need to be on top of our game with our money as well as our health, and bring a nice balance between the two. So if I talk about, before I get into this, talking about what should we do with our money, just to bring a few important points that Aarti brought about. In many Indian homes, talking about money is quite a taboo, you know, and especially in possibly in the presence of women. And so many a times we've faced an experience that women talk about money after some sort of a crisis, be it a death or be it a divorce, and some problem or some kind of a money requirement that they want for their children's education or marriage or buying a house. So I just thought I'd just put these little points out there so that we can identify with it with our own selves. And another thing is, who manages our money? Is it primarily a husband, father, brother, that relationship manager? So somewhere for us to also take accountability for managing this money. And as I keep saying, you know, women are born to budget and plan money. Right from the inception of mankind, you know, we are the ones who've budgeted and planned everything at home. And so we're also very good at taking prudent risk. And we're very intuitive, as Aarti also mentioned. So we have the recipe for success. I'm talking about a different recipe here. So we have a complete recipe of success for women to manage money and make a great success of it. So here are some of the questions which will come. What should I do with my money? You know, should I invest my money to protect it? Should I invest my money to grow it? Should we do it in fixed deposits? Should I buy gold, diamonds, and jewelry? You know, some of the important little things that people would like to understand in what should money do for us. So I just thought I'd share these 3 simple boxes for us to understand what we should do with our money. The first box is things that make me happy. I really can't put a value to it. So if I just go into a little more details over here, Aarti, please stop me whenever you want to ask me any questions on that. For example,
I leave it to the audience. If they have any questions, they can put it in the chat box.
thank you. So things that make me happy, for example, antique jewelry or solitaire diamonds, some unique homes, exclusive furniture, pieces of art, you know, family heirlooms, they may not be, there's more of an emotional connect and you really can't put a price to it. So I think that's important for us to understand that there is a box that our money would be used for to buy all these wonderful things that make us happy. The second box, of course, is things that we can't do without, you know, the regular and one-time expenses. So if I can just take you through some of the details of the daily requirements, you know, household expenses, groceries, telephone bills, staff salaries, electricity bills, you know, other spending needs like lovely holidays. These are all things I can't do without, right? So I need to understand that these are the things I can't do without. And even one-time expenses like my kids' education abroad or my children's wedding, a destination wedding perhaps, legacy homes. So these are all things that we need to kind of understand that we definitely can't live without. And so we encourage everybody to kind of make a clear list so that we can start planning it. So once we have that list, there are so many options to invest, risky investments versus guaranteed return investments. So first, once we have the box and what we need, then we can understand that a bit better. Then the third box, of course, is what I want in the future, money that I want later in my life. So for that, money needs to grow. So that's where the principles of investing, there's also a very big bad word called inflation, right? Like we always talk about how the cost of a masala dosa in CTR was some 10 rupees, some 20 years or 30 years or 40 years ago, and now it's sitting at 150 rupees. I think the classic case is coffee. That, coffee today you can buy for even 500 rupees a cup of coffee, which is something that you can even buy for a 20 rupees, right? So what are we understanding in that element? And
it's like the gold ice cream, 1 scoop of gold ice cream for how many lakhs that is available in Dubai.
Yeah. So, and if we want to do all that, we need to understand how we want to save up our money. And therefore, there is something called saving, which is the power of compounding, patience, and understanding risk and time. So these are some little elements of understanding money so that we can make it work for us in the best way that we want to, once we have these boxes. So I just thought I'd give you a quick example of some of, we all are always talking about fixed deposits and post office schemes and pension plans. And all we look for is a return, right? So the range of return is between 3% to 7.5%. You get FDs from 1 month to 15 years plus. We also need to consider a tax element on that. And one of the things I'd like us to focus on this particular slide is that some of these returns are guaranteed and some of them are not. So I think it's important for us to understand, for example, even gold, though we've seen it zoom up so much now, it's not guaranteed returns. It'll happen over a period of time. So that's what is called a deferred income. Even real estate falls under the same bracket, and so does diamonds and things like that. And of course, the share market is definitely the main prime driver of deferred income, non-guaranteed, for you to grow your money.
The principal buckets for money, that is also in this, or
that's the buckets, which are the boxes, which are the main boxes. Okay. So when we come back to these boxes, so based on all these buckets or boxes, based on this, then we can proceed to see how we'd like to put our money into all these various options, and make it work for us. It's actually rather simple. It's just understanding these buckets And okay, now I need this, I need that, I need this.
Correct.
And we kind of plan it around that. And so just to a couple of other interesting things, because, you know, time is very important as an investment. We always talk about time horizon, right? So I thought I'd give you a little bit of an example of what happened, you know, in the stock markets recently with this COVID. You know,
Yeah.
we just taken exactly almost a year ago, 23rd of September 2019, and we're sitting on 16th October 2020. In between, COVID crash happened on this 23rd of March 2020. So actually, in 12 months, the markets crashed by 34% and has gone up also by 54%. So this is how the volatility of all the non-guaranteed investments will play out, you know. And so we need to kind of plan that I need to be invested for a 5-year period. Otherwise, I'm going to face this kind of yo-yo in the markets. And that will happen regularly. I mean, this time it was COVID, last time it was something else.
So with regard to medical insurance, is it advisable to have it for myself and for my family? And
With
how much is
regard
the
to,
amount?
medical insurance.
Amita, can you please mute? Amita Kaushal.
Yeah, so with regard to medical insurance, I think it's a great, normally most of us have it along with the family insurance. It'll come with the husband and the wife. And yeah, it's a good thing to have, because especially with medical expenses going up the way they are. So it's a good thing to have actually. And
How much is the amount?
well, premiums range, because, you know, one of the things about medical insurance is that it's a very, you know, you and I, when we check into a hospital, we want to get into a Columbia Asia or one of the more, you know, better hospitals of India. And we also want our own rooms, right? So we need to read the fine print of the health insurance dockets so that we understand whether it covers all this for us. Sometimes, you know, the other insurance companies will just say a flat rate. I will only give you 5,000 rupees of room rent, or I'll just give you, you know, I'll just give you, I'll just kind of.
Not for the surgery, yeah.
So, you know, I mean, no, I'll just give you 5,000 rupees. I will not cover surgery. I will not be able to take out, because, you know, the premiums. So many companies have evolved to get different types of health insurance for us. So it's sadly, all of this requires us to delve a little deeper into the fine print, which is a bit boring. It is boring. As I said, my subject is a boring subject, but that's what it is. So reading the fine print to make sure.
Ladies have to be aware. That's what my next question will be like. It's something like that, that as women, should we know about our husband's investments and financial matters?
Well, I think everybody is going to be, I keep telling many of my friends, you know, saying the best thing that you should ask for your husband's birthday present is to find out how much assets you have. So I just thought I would just take you through these important slides about women and, you know, about money. So should I know about my husband's money? You know, for some women, it's easy, right? For other women, they just are like, I don't want to get into this space because it's just going to cause.
As far as she gets the money in hand, yes.
Yeah, so really. So, but I think it's very important to know about it so that you can plan it properly, you know, and also succession, you know, because all this money needs to go to your children, all the plans that happens with transmission of assets. So it's important to understand. And normally when you land up inheriting money, women inherit money, it's done through a will, you know, all of you all must have heard of a will. So this helps a great deal. It avoids a lot of inconvenience. And so that the money that we have goes to the right hands, you know, and it avoids a lot of inheritance disputes and things like that. So I just thought I'd take off a little bit about the protection. You talked about women, right?
Yes, equal rights of
the Hindu Succession Act, which has been altered again in 2020, which is the rights of a woman as a daughter and a wife. So as for a husband, you can see that class one, number one rights are with the mother, wife, daughter, and son. Upfront, same status as a son. So it's very, very clear that the current modern Indian law protects women a lot. Some of us are very privileged, where we are very empowered, and people are okay with us inheriting money. But many times that's not the case. So this is a very great protection for our law. And then there's something called Stridhana, which is what I inherit from my parents. So whatever I inherit from my parents, or whatever I've earned myself, is my self-acquired property. So I don't need to give it to even my family. It is mine. And so it cannot be attached with anything. So these are all very powerful laws for women in our country today.
Maybe to add to this, supposing as a daughter, I the money which I've inherited from my parents, but as a daughter, I want to give up this. So is there this thing, any documentation to be done for this? Like I pass it on to my brother. So is there any documentation to be done for that?
See,
Aarti, I have a suggestion.
Yes.
Give it to Rotary Midtown, whatever you don't want.
Sure. That is from my side. Whatever is mine, I will give it, not from what I've inherited.
Great request, Ravi.
No, and it's a very amazing thing actually that sadly, yes, of course. I mean, no, I just see, for example, I just want to just share this one more thing with you. If there is a will that says, if somebody passes away without a will, it's called intestate. Not here. No, I don't think this is the one. Yeah, so if somebody passes away without a will, what happens is that, it's okay. So if somebody passes away without a will, what happens is that they will have to have a family tree, right? When you have to transfer your house and all that. So you need to go tell them that this is the family tree. This is my brother, sister, all of these kind of things. And then after that, if the sister wants to give an NOC, a no objection certificate, that the property gets transferred to the brother only. That can be done. The only issue is that it's good to know, because this way you're also denying your children. It once and for all, it goes away from your hands. And so as long as you're transparent about everything, to each his own about, otherwise it's very easy. It's just an NOC. You give it because, as you know, the mother is also a class 1 heir, right? Even the wife is a class 1 heir, as I keep saying. So it's the mother, the wife, the daughter, they're all. So keeping this in mind, you need an NOC.
Okay.
You need a no objection certificate. And that, of course, requires an affidavit and things like that, which will get done with, people who are aware of all these documentations.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, ma'am.
And so
would you expand little on that Protection Act, Women Protection Act?
Yeah, so there is something called the Marriage Women's Property Act, which came in again to protect the property of women. As I mentioned, the Stridhana concept, right? One is the Stridhana, that whatever I have earned and whatever I have inherited from my parents, it cannot be touched by anybody. It's my money, So that's it's self-acquired. It becomes self-acquired property. So that is a great protection for women. The second way of getting this protected is life insurance policies. So you can take a life insurance policy, and that can be taken under, the wife becomes the nominee, and you'll end up taking it under this Marriage Women's Property Act, so that in case there are any loans or debt that happens also when the husband is not there anymore, this insurance money will go straight only to the wife. So nobody can claim it. So you can't attach all these properties. That is the beautiful part. So even if the husband has a lot of loans, my property, my self-earned earnings, my inheritance, along with this particular life insurance that is taken under the MWP Act, nobody can touch that money. So the laws of India really, really protect women, and women have equal rights as a son or a male in this country.
Great, great.
So it really feels very empowering. And I think we have
Yes.
always, it's very, very empowering, actually. I always say, true empowerment for a woman is financial freedom. So that, if they understand their money a bit, so it becomes very empowering for us to understand all of these. And not many people are aware of all this, by the way.
Mhm. Thanks for sharing, Mimi, and educating Ans as well. I'm sure most of them already know about it, but for the 5-6% whoever doesn't know, it's a great thing.
Yes.
How do we achieve discipline and freedom?
The thing about money management, you talked about freedom. I think freedom is a very broad discussion, but with money only comes with balance. I mean, you've got to have a process and a plan in place. So otherwise it just doesn't grow the way we want it to grow. So we need to have those buckets. I told you, those boxes
Yes,
in place.
yes.
And then we need to understand that money will only grow with a certain return. You are not going to get, I showed you the FD returns, right? So it's going to happen in a particular manner. These are the returns that we can get. So we need to work around these baskets and these returns. And again, this also will happen. This excitement will also happen in between.
Stock markets, yes.
We need to understand that all of that is something that is part of money management. And so we need to define our boxes, understand expectations versus reality, understand whether we want to protect our money, grow our money, and have a time horizon for growing money and save. This SIPs, you would have heard of SIPs, etc. So save and consolidate. It's the only thing with money is that you have a simple plan, and you follow the plan and it works for you.
True. Thank you, Mimi, for this. The other day, Mimi, I was just reading in a book, like money is like an energy.
Right.
It's like actually currency means to run or flow. So it's
Right.
like a symbol that gives you like that we give the life energy and we receive the same thing for the service we provide to others. So it's like a river flowing. And if you stop the energy, it will clog or stagnate. So I would like you to little elaborate on this and speak about money and happiness.
Actually, this is the perfect time, Dasara, right? We're only worshipping the
Yes,
the Shaktis of
God.
all the three Shaktis of Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Durga. So, as they say, as we spoke, Mahalakshmi's nature is Chanchalam. She doesn't want to
True,
stay with
very
you
true.
or with me. So her plot is Mahavishnu. That's she only wants him. So, but we want her. So how are we going to keep her, Whereas Saraswati is Thiram, knowledge is Thiram. So this is where the right blend of knowledge for managing your money will bring about a balance with it, And you need to have the courage to be able to say, I'm going to do it. So all the three Shaktis.
It's a combination, yes.
Yeah, the combination of all three. Firstly, knowledge. That's why the boxes, understanding risk, understanding return. Then, of course, you need to put the money in with courage and then be patient about it, And then once that happens, you're able to be a success with it. And as I keep saying, we women have it beautifully in us, all the three. Whether we are masters at parallel processing. So, and being intuitive about all of this.
So that is the success mantra. Trio is the success mantra.
Absolutely. And what better time to start when this
yes.
this happy, auspicious time of Dasara.
Excellent, excellent. There's since you are into so many things, can you just advise us and tell us how to keep a balance between work as a wealth advisor and invest in yoga, dance, Vedanta? And do these aspects of life influence the advice you give it to the clients?
Absolutely. Because what one is looking for, when I keep talking about giving advice to anybody about money, do I do it in your interest or do I do it in my interest? I always talk about this. There's a very famous quote, which is a very funny quote by Warren Buffett. He says, Manhattan is a place where people ride in their Rolls Royces to take advice from people who come in the metro.
Okay.
So we financial advisors are basically poorer than all our clients. So why would somebody rich take advice from us? So this actually got me more, this concept got me into delving deeper into Vedanta and understanding what is the foundation for objective advice.
So
If I
rich in
really-
knowledge.
Yeah. So if I really need to give you advice that is only meant for you without worrying about my money and what I earn, I need to have some fundamental principles. And what does MBA teach you? That greed is good, right? Gordon Gekko. You got to worry about the profit and loss statement all the time. So I needed a balance of finding something else that gave me a very strong foundation. And that came with knowledge.
Very well said. To end with, I would just like to ask you, what would be the final advice you would like to give away to the ants as a takeaway home?
All of you
for-
women are already highly empowered. And, and it's, and we always talk about, all of y'all are anyway managing your own money. And again, to keep the three Shaktis going, not to run away from it, keep the plan, keep the knowledge going. And women are definitely a great success in managing money. Some women are not as fortunate as us empowered women, and therefore also to be able to empower more women in this space, because it's been years of conditioning that women were not allowed to manage money, centuries and millennia moved away from this. So the likes of us can empower more people to more women to take charge of their money and plan their finances for a happier life, actually.
Thank you for your insights and encouraging advice.
Thank you so much, Aarti.
Yeah. Any questions? We'll just see.
I was just seeing the chat room. There is no question come up so far. But Nimi, I want to ask one thing. Personally, I don't believe in investing gold, but I see that gold is the one investment which is really going high. It never lose money. What is your personal take on gold?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just show you what gold has done in terms of numbers. Gold is very important to have in your portfolio for sure, because it's an asset that we all turn to. We will all turn to gold, especially when there's a crisis situation. You will see gold will go up. Actually, gold went up in March to now it has gone up by about 35%. It was sitting at, 33,000 and went up to 50,000. So it just shot up by 40% straight up. So if you look at this particular small little sheet, you'll see that if I invested, this just gives you a 40-year run, If I put a lakh of rupees in the share market, I would have made 4 crores over 40 years. If I put the same 1 lakh in gold, I would have got 71 lakhs. If I put the same 1 lakh in a fixed deposit, I would have only made 28 lakhs. So gold is also going to go up and down. It's not going to be in this one straight line. So if you see this line, the first line talks about the stock markets going up and down. The second gold line, over a 40-year period, it has also gone up and down. Nothing is preventing this gold price from crashing. So what is important is the time horizon for this. If you have a 3 to 5 year time horizon, you will get, as I go on going back to the same slide, you will get your, this is the main, this main slide that I talk about, which is you will get your 8 to 10% over a 5-year period, which is slightly better than an FD. So this is how you manage. Suddenly it's given you 40%. It cannot go up like that every year. It doesn't work like that.
Okay.
So it will give you over a period of time a sensible return. So this is Samatvam actually, I wanted to share this beautiful, in Yoga Sutra, actually in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna basically defines yoga as samatvam yoga uchyate. That in this ever changing environment, samatvam is balance. Finally, the law of nature itself is samatvam. You can't have one thing going up forever. Its own internal balance and checks will come into place. And then the other thing that he says in chapter 2 is, what are you going to do to achieve this balance? That is yoga karmashu kausalam. Activity versus productivity, So many times when this market does all that, what are we going to do when the markets go up and things go up and down? Sometimes we shouldn't do anything. So what are all the prudent action that we take? And this, I believe, this dynamic balance, which Krishna is so beautifully talking about achieving in life, is not only a success mantra for money, it's a success mantra for life. So everything will find its balance. Nothing can get, if somebody says, oh, don't worry, I'll get you an excellent investment for 25% return year on year, it cannot sustain itself.
True. You have to do your own research and
and you need to understand the law of nature, that balance will sooner than later always come about. And this is a very fundamental principle we use in our financial plans, so that we don't get carried away with returns, and we have a very sensible, balanced way of looking at things. So gold is a good investment that we need to keep over a 5-year period, and it should give you between 8 to 10% return. That is definitely better than your FDs.
Okay. Thank you.
Not after you account for making charges and wastages and all that.
Oh yes, gold and jewelry are two separate things. Because if you go to some of the high-end jewelers, you're going to get a 25% making charge straight up. You'll have a designing element. So I think we should separate, as I kept saying, what I love and what I enjoy doing, that is jewelry, and you can't put a price and a value to it. But as an investment, gold comes with very easy investment in the form of an index mutual fund. You can buy it in the form of an exchange traded fund on the stock markets. So it only talks about the pure metal.
The sovereign gold bond, what about that?
Those were also very good, which gave an additional 2%. And it's a 7-year lock-in. The only issue is it's a 7-year lock-in. You should be ready to lock in your money.
Okay.
That's where that came in. And the government will start, they've just finished quite a few issues. They keep coming up with their issues, which is good to have in your overall portfolio, That's why we say, look at it in a holistic manner, because suddenly if you need this money, you can't take it out because there's a 7-year lock-in.
Okay.
So you need to understand what you need as your liquid money, what you can put away in the future. So to make a little plan would be the best way to put money away, rather than just putting it just because something is happening. Because you need to be able to touch it when you really want it, when you really want to go on that exciting holiday after COVID now.
Nimi, I have a question for you. This is Namrata. Sorry, I joined in a late.
Hi, Namrata.
Hi. How are you doing? You're looking as gorgeous as ever. So
She just completed her session and came. That's why all the Midtowner ants were there in her talk. Quite a few Midtowner ladies joined in late because of the Ficky flow. Namrata.
Yeah. So my question to you is, Mimi, trading versus fundamental stock investing. What is your take on that?
What did you say?
Trading versus fundamental stock investments.
Right.
What is your take on that?
I have to say that I've had, being in this industry for about close to 23 years. My God, that seems forever. We've seen the best of people who've lost huge sums of money in trading and also made money. The thing is the human mind. Once you start making money with 1 or 2 trades, you say, "Arey yaar, ek aur samay karenge." I'll just do this more and more, and this is a no-brainer. It's a winning model. If everybody won by trading, trust me, nobody's going to be doing anything else. They would just sit and trade. So I think it's important for us to allocate resources to trading. You make money, you lose money, it's fine. Let's allocate a certain amount of money to investing, right? So you don't feel that you've lost out completely. At the same time, you have a balanced portfolio. Trading is fine as long as you know that that's the volatility it comes with. But investing is also important along with it, because that's what will give you a sustainable return over a period of time.
Thank you. Very well answered, Mimi. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
It's-
Any other questions?
If no questions, then I hand over to Suma for the vote of thanks.
Arti, I didn't see any questions in the chat room also. So
Huh. No,
There are 2, 3. Is that?
it was only
it's only
response
active
and
with me. Good program, but naturally I have not bothered much about financial matters. Right side brain is only active with me, I believe. Who is this? Sumati Rao. Yeah.
yeah, Sumati Rao.
As I said, money and talking about money is something that everybody runs away from. So
Yeah.
this is a boring subject. And
But it is a must that everybody should be aware of it. So you cannot let go.
well, I think as we said, the important takeaways from this, if anything else, is about planning for your money so that it works for you when you really need the money. The second thing is to understand your rights as a woman, that India is really empowered women in their rights and in their succession and with their own money. So that gives a lot of security and stability to money.
Well,
And women
well
are
said.
also, then with this, a lot more can be done by us women in society. Since you started saying, women do a lot of spend their money on a lot of charitable causes, on a lot of social upliftment causes. So that's really works very well for us.
Mimi, what's your take on cryptocurrency?
I think as long as our generation lives, or maybe till the age of another, let me take from the 40-year-olds. We are all a creature of habit. I cannot imagine Mr. Nedumgadi jumping away and buying all cryptocurrencies now. We're all a creature of habit. Let's be clear on this. Maybe the 25-year-olds of today may not want to see rupee notes the way we are seeing it. But definitely, I believe till all of us are happily living on this wonderful planet, that is not going to take over our world at all. And look at us. Even one small shake of COVID, look how we've all turned to gold. It's reflecting in the prices. So there is that primitive still survival thing of doing things that our ancestor did some 200 years ago. So cryptocurrency, in my view, is going to take a while before it becomes, prevalent.
Agree with
Something
you.
else may come in the next 50 years, God knows.
But maybe I have shifted to Google Pay at least. Huh?
That's a big, see, all of us,
That's a big leap forward.
even to Zoom calls, Mr. Nedumgadi.
Yeah, that's true.
Even to Zoom calls and to pay online, as they say that this COVID disruption has brought in digitalization, what would have taken 10 years. So, but I don't think we will leap into cryptocurrency in any hurry, because there's a whole bunch of us who are entrenched in our wonderful habits of counting our notes and quite happy with it.
And smelling our money.
Yeah.
Don't do that now, Namrata.
What, Ravi?
Don't smell currency notes in these COVID days.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Now when I smell them, they smell of sanitizer.
Well,
Even
you
they
hope
carry
it's
infection.
sanitizer.
There is a special sanitizer for that also, for the currency
No, but
notes.
Ravi, my brother does that. He washes the notes and irons them. I swear.
Yeah, I've heard of money laundering, Namrata, but this is taking it to an extreme.
And now you have Philips that has come up with this microwave kind of thing, right? Which
Yes.
pretty much sanitizes everything that you put in it.
With
So-
the ultraviolet
sanitizing,
rays.
oven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So these are all the fun times, yeah, for us.
So Mimi, before
Yeah.
the formal vote of thanks, I presume you are going to, as we discussed, send me a handout which I can distribute to everybody,
Yes, Mr.
containing a snapshot of your thoughts and tips And then people can reach out to you on the basis of need.
It'll be a pleasure, Ms. Nandini. Thank you so much for having me today.
Apparently, you are very good in parenting. I was just reading. So we will have you again for that too, for the hands.
Oh, fine. I don't know whether my daughter is going to agree with me, but I think I've done a relatively good job. So, yes, that's what it is. Thank you so much, Aarti, for asking me the right questions. And I hope you all found it useful.
Thank you
very
so much.
Mimi. That was really interesting. Double worth our time to tell us what is our right, what is women's right, to empower, what do we need, what is a safe investment, what is not a safe investment. My God, it was such a well-informed talk. Thank you so much for guiding all of us, and I'm sure she'll be happy to connect with everybody, whoever wants to connect with her. Thank you so much, Mimi.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
maybe
so
you can
much.
share
And-
your email ID in the chat box if anybody is interested. They want to ask you any more questions, anything.
Right. So I just I can do that now, I guess. So
Yeah.
I
Share your
will.
email ID. That will be better.
I will do that. I will.
In particular, thanks for doing this in spite of not being on top of health today.
Well, you all have all made me completely better. So on that front, so thank you so much for. I just felt. One second, I just will put my email ID on that. I don't think I'm able. Here it is.
And I must tell you, Mimi, with your chirpy attitude, you made this dry subject a very interesting one.
Well, I have a lot more jokes on that, but I decided to hold myself on that one. Quick
But
money.
financial awareness by itself is a powerful thing. So
Yeah.
you can say that.
Yes, yeah. It's if you ask my mother, she will say, Mimi, one of the main reasons for you being sometimes quite badly behaved is because you know about money. So it's a very empowering thing to know about money. There's no doubt on that.
So are all my
True.
fellow
Yeah.
Rotarians going to be sort of cursing me in their minds from tonight?
So that all the all the women get empowered today, Mr. Nanagiri,
Yes,
getting
yes.
all this information.
They will join the men.
Yes.
Yes. They
It's
will
going to
not.
be complimentary.
Correct.
They will not be the Durgas. With that,
Mimi, that was a lovely talk. Very nice. Lovely.
Nice to see you, Parul, after so long.
Yes. Really nice.
No, thank you. Thank you for joining in.
Yeah.
Thank you again. And
Thank you.
Mr. Nanagiri, I'll share the handouts with you.
Yeah, send it to me and I'll forward it to everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
again.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
evening, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, Ravi.
Bye.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye,
Thank you.
Suma.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.